This is a true life story. Yes, I actually gave birth to my first child in an uncompleted building, and wrapping her up in an old wrapper, I heartlessly dumped her near a gutter along a deserted street. Please do not condemn me yet. Rather, you should ask first, what are the events that led to my action that fateful day? This is the story of my life and what I'm about to tell you. I remember residing in the city at a tender age with my little brother, my beautiful mom, and my hardworking dad. My dad does importation business, while my mom stays at home to take care of my little brother and I. Those were happy days that lasted briefly in my childhood days. Every evening, my brother and I excitedly stood at the window, waiting to hear the sound of our dad's car driving into our compound.
Daddy, oh yeah yeah, Daddy, oh yeah yeah, Daddy, oh yeah yeah.
We chorused while being restrained by our mother in order to allow our dad park his car properly. As soon as he opens his car door, we jumped into his arms, each struggling to gain his full attention. I remember him telling us often,
I am working hard so that I can send both of you to the best university in the country. What you owe me is to concentrate on your studies, my children. Leave the rest to me. With my sweat, I will pay the price for your bright future.
I believed him. Dad was our hero. One day, we came back from school to meet our aunts and uncles, who bundled us straight to the village. There we got to understand that our daddy and mommy had gone to be with the Lord. They had an accident on their way back from a friend's traditional wedding and died instantly. My parents were buried and my uncle sold off all my dad's properties and they shared the money. We were left in the village to stay with our aged grandmother. One day, my aunt came home and told us she brought good news. I am taking both of you back to the city. You will stay with rich family who will love, pamper and shower you with gifts, she said to us. My brother and I excitedly agreed to go with her, for we miss our parents and our old lifestyle so much. The next day, our aunt took us to the city and handed us over to 2 different families as house helps in exchange for monthly salary into her account. The names of the couple I was to stay with were Madam Oge and Oga Emeka. I never understood what was happening until later, when the beating, maltreatment, and heaps of degrading words started pouring on me.
You have the brain of a goat. Looking at you, I see how dumb your parents were. What a useless child they give to us. See the good for nothing we are paying for. It is always the imbecile children people give out as house helps. We are the best thing that will ever happen to you.
The only language I hear was,
and go and wash the plates in the kitchen. And go and wash my clothes in the laundry. And have you mopped everywhere? And why have you not washed my car? And why must you eat breakfast before serving me my lunch? And why didn't you leave everything you are doing and do this last one I just told you first, you imbecile?
It helped reduce my malnourished body to an underdeveloped size for my age. And ironically, I was blamed too for my underaged size. It was later I got to know my aunt was being paid every month for my unlimited service to my Oga's household. I missed my dad, mom, and my little brother so much that my bed was constantly soaked with tears every night I was given few hours to rest. I was 16 when I first saw my period, and I started noticing my hips are actually wider and my breast needed a bra. But unfortunately, I wasn't the only one who noticed these changes in my body. Ogemeka came to my room one midnight when my madam traveled to her maternal home for a burial.
And baby, do you know you have become a beautiful young girl? You're fully ripe now to become useful to me. I like you a lot, that's why I no longer beat you. Now let me touch you, and I'll be giving you money for snacks.
In fear, I begged and fought with my oga to leave me alone. But he was stronger than I was, so he succeeded in raping me that night. I folded my body in my tiny bed and cried my heart out. I felt so dirty from the inside, a dirt soap and water could not wash away. He brutally took away the only thing I could call my own in this world, my virginity. I had dreamed and fantasized giving that to that man who would love and would want to marry me in my rags and poverty. But now he has taken away my pride, the only reason I will stand proud before any decent man. My oga threatened me into hiding his dirty acts.
If you mention this to my wife or anybody, I will send my boys to gang rape you, slaughter your body and sell the parts to ritualists. You know my connections, right? You know I can do this, right?
My oga sneaks into my room to rape me every night he sees an opportunity. To cut the long story short, one day my madam discovered I was pregnant. Shocked, shaking, and shivering, I confessed to her that her husband has been raping me.
Oh, you say this my husband Abi? Ashawo! Daughter of a hoe must be a hoe. How many young men have you opened your legs to and you want to claim my husband is responsible, Abi?
This and more she poured on me. After sustaining several body injuries from her that day, she pushed me out of her gate and with nothing but the clothes I was wearing. I passed the night in an uncompleted building, and the next day, amidst my morning sickness, I walked out in search of any job I could do. Unfortunately, the further I walk into the city, the more it became glaring that people don't believe me in my ragged state. Many were cautious and skeptical to help me. One night, while sleeping, some guys came around to smoke Indian hemp. They were shocked and pleased to see me lying down on the hard floor of one of the rooms. That night, I was raped by 3 men who were high on weed. My agonizing cry and heart-wrenching plea that I was pregnant fell on deaf ears. I didn't know how and why I survived that night. Also, I couldn't tell how come I didn't have a miscarriage. Irony of life. So many married women sit at home in the midst of abundance and end up having miscarriage. But I prayed for it. I begged for it, consciously urging my body to miscarry. I was gang raped for goodness sake. But the baby refused to move. I was a broken and battered woman. I hated the innocent baby in my womb. I hated my life and everything I've been reduced to. I lost every reason to live. I wanted to commit suicide, but I was too cowardly to perform the act. Finally, I let myself be. I stopped struggling. I begged shop owners for food, scavenged on desperate times. Even as ragged as I was, men still asked me for sex before they would give me money. But I had sworn life would never reduce me to selling my body, no matter how broken it is. When I went into labor in one uncompleted building, I gnashed my teeth and pushed her out. Used a blade I've kept with me as a weapon to cut the umbilical cord. I did this with the mindset that if I die, I die. But I didn't die because, unknowing to me, the placenta that would have possibly put my life in danger came out together with the baby. I wrapped her with one of the rags I had washed and kept. Then I stealthily walked to a popular gutter people cross every morning to work and kept her inside. I knew people would see her easily. I prayed people see her quickly. Going back to my hiding place, I broke down in tears. Oh God, forgive me. I'm sorry I'm not courageous enough to keep her. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'm doing this because I love you, my baby. Keeping you will mean a life of hunger, starvation, and deprivation. I'm sorry I have to be the one to bring you into this miserable world. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. While I was crying, I felt a hand grab my shoulder and I turned in shock. It was a woman who looked at me with pity, and in her arms was my baby. She said to me, I was on my way to work when I saw you drop the baby in the gutter. I carried her and followed you. Please stop crying, my daughter. You will not be hungry and desolate again. My husband and I will take care of you and your baby. I followed her home in shock, fear, and shame. But this elderly couple wiped away my tears, boosted my confidence, and erased my fears. I got to learn that their marriage of 25 years was not blessed with any child. They excitedly and legally adopted my baby and sent me back to school. I was loved and well taken care of, and during my convocation, they were there to celebrate with me for coming out with first class in computer science. There, I was given employment in an international telecommunication company. I tried locating my brother, only to find out that he died in an accident while hawking pure water on the road. Ogemeka and Madam Oge later traced my home one day looking pitiful. They said to me,
We have been looking for you everywhere for years. Please forgive us and allow us to see your child. God has refused to bless us with children.
I forgave them, but refused them access to my daughter. Ogemeka still begs me till today to allow him see her just once, and I still tell him it is not possible.
What do you think? Should she grant them access to her daughter? Does she even have the right to grant them access to her? Did she do the right thing by refusing them access to her? Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up.